Indeed, I planned. Indeed, we were already a bit late to start. Here is your hot water and coffee. I really feel very curious about the talks you have among yourselves because you just need to repeat yourself when you walk into the room. And here are your drinking cups. Okay, here you are. And I also need a voice recorder. My name is Sanem. And the name of my company is Future Bright, which is a market research company that conducts researches in any field you could imagine, including all the products and services you use. And we are trying to understand your views about what you expect, what you like and dislike. And we hold discussion groups. And we sometimes go out to shop with consumers, and we sometimes do the laundry with ladies. And you know what this means? We are doing research for many brands, but provided that we have equal distance to all of them because we have no organic relationship with them. Today we'll be talking about cars. I hope it's an interesting topic for you, and I will be asking numerous questions. However, there's no right or wrong answer to my questions because whatever you say is just right for me. So the more sincere, more honest you are, the better it is for me. And the more details you provide, the better it is for us. And I will be focusing on your experiences, your feelings, which matter to me most. And this is going to be a chat, but just as the name suggests, we have a purpose around which we gather. That's why we have rules. And one of them is to stick with the topic at hand. You know, Turkish people may get really distracted. You know, we may do that, and this is when I may be stepping in to call you back to the main topic. So please do not take that personally if I find myself doing that. And similarly, I may be stepping in to hush you up if I find you speaking all at the same time. It's critically important that you speak one at a time. So if you have something to tell, don't say it to the next person to you, because all of this discussion is being translated into English by simultaneous interpreters. And if you speak all at the same time, they definitely don't understand you. And we also have English recording, voice recording. That's why I will kindly ask for your attention to that point. And the final reminder for you is your mobile phones. If you're not expecting an important call, please mute your mobiles or turn it off so that we don't get distracted. So this was my lot where I speak most. I would like to get to know you. Where do you think we should start? I'm a left-hander. Let's start on the left-hand side. My name is Erol. I'm 32. I'm working in a white good company. I'm in charge of this region, Marmara region, in sales department. Should I tell you about cars? Now, I would like to get to know you a bit. What about your family? Are you married? Do you have children? And your work? I'm single. I live on my own. I live in Istanbul, in Sarıyer district. So, but I live on the other hand side, Anatolian side of Istanbul. I usually spend time in traffic, and I also travel outside of the city every 2 weeks. And that's all I have to say. Thanks for coming. I'm 43. What is your name? Rahim. He is Rahim. I'm married. I have my own. Well, I have 2 children. Both of them are boys, 14 and 8 years of age. Where do you live? I live in Levant neighborhood. I'm a civil servant. And I'm in charge of the tax building. And there are cars that we use. That's the option car, as we go. What is option car? And these are the cars that we use for money collection, or for carrying goods, or for carrying the staff. So we'll be talking about cars anyway. Hello, my name is Sabahattin. I'm 47. I have 2 sons. I live in Çağlayan with my family. How old are your children? 20 and 22. Are they, both of them are boys? Okay. I'm a cook. Oh, you're a cook. Yes, I'm working at a hotel. That's it. I have my private car, and I travel. I go to my hometown. Okay, good. Okay, let's continue. My name is Ismail. I'm 31. I'm married. We don't have children for the moment. It's been 3 months. We get married. I am a sales representative in clothing industry. I have my own car, Kia sedan. He's Ismail. And that's all I have to say. Thanks for coming. My name is Ahmed. I'm 37, married with 1 child. I'm a banker. I've been in the sector for the last 10 years. My child is 8 years old, attending to the 3rd grade. I mean, my child takes most of my time anyway. You know, he wants to play with iPad for 1 hour after doing his homework for 10 minutes. Okay. So, okay. And I myself have 1 child. Sanem says, now, could you please tell me about your personalities? What single adjectives would you say? I can say I'm emotional. What about you? I'm quite meticulous. I'm scrupulous. Yeah, I'm pretty emotional. I'm careful, cautious. I'm a bit workaholic. You're a workaholic, okay. I'm not that emotional, okay. And today we'll be talking about cars. And we'll be talking about driving. Indeed, I'd like to start with a game. Imagine that a friend of yours wants you to produce a documentary depicting what it means to drive in Turkey, what it means to be driving in Turkey, what do you pay attention to when driving, and what drivers, what habits or attitudes do you have that influence the way you drive, and how do you think Turkish people relate to the concept of driving as a topic of this production. Now, these are the headlines. Now, what comes up to your mind? What would you like to tell this director? First of all, if we are to talk about Istanbul in particular, we would come up with a different portrait. Istanbul traffic is totally different. and I spend a lot of time on traffic, in traffic, and I can't honestly say anything pleasant about it. So we have traffic-related problems, of course. And besides that, I really enjoy driving long distances, and I'm very much into cars. However, in Istanbul traffic, it's not pleasurable at all. Okay, what else would you say? What comes up? Many people like driving, but in Istanbul, it really is a stressful thing. It's a torture, and you may feel very distressed about it. I never remember feeling pleased about driving in Istanbul. We just go on a vacation in summertime to my hometown. It takes me 2 hours to come from Bolu to Istanbul, but it takes an hour and 10 minutes to pass the toll-paying area. So I mean, the long distances are pleasurable to drive, but as you pass that toll-paying area, especially if you cross the bridge, it gets very hassle-some. Okay, certainly. And you just say, come on, we ended up getting back here. Okay, now what else? Okay, it's a torture. Everybody says that. What else there is to say about it? My wife has had her driving license recently, and my 8-year-old son is very much interested in the car, and I'm just telling him to listen to the engine, and I'm just trying to make it a game out of the gear box, telling him to listen to the gearbox and tell me the time to gear up. And then he's putting his books behind the seat, and from Eyüp to Nişantaşı we're supposed to drive. And when we are in Nişantaşı, tell me, I'm trying to just come up with some activities because we already have to suffer the traffic, and we know our destination. At least we should not really get buckled down in traffic stress. So are you playing games or studying? Well, we do everything and anything. Like my wife asks questions to my son, and then they're doing stuff back at this rare scene. So you're spending your family time in your car. Absolutely. I'm quite meticulous, or maybe careful. Okay, we know there is this traffic jam, and I have to drive while going to my work. And that car should be pleasurable to drive, even in that traffic. The seat should be comfortable enough, and the sound system of the car should be good. So, I mean, the car should be good enough for me so that I could forget about the traffic, because I'm not an aggressive driver, and I always play by the rule when it comes to traffic rules. And that the car should be offering this confidence and comfort that I need to forget the traffic jam. It's like a small portion of our home. You spend a certain amount of time every day in your car. So I will have to spend quite a good deal of time. So how can I make it quality time? So you may really play your DVDs, CDs. So you spend a lot of time, right? Yeah. And in that amount of time, you try to spend your time efficiently. Absolutely. Now, what do you like about driving? We Turkish people. I really love driving, especially in the long distances. Why? I just listen to myself. I mean, and I usually drive alone. If I'm not supposed to go drive with my family or my friends, I usually am on my own, and I just take some time out. So what makes you feel pleased? I don't know. That comes from our childhood. I have some interest in driving. I started driving at very early ages, as young as 15, although I didn't have any driver's license. But so I mean, driving alone is something I admire. I mean, I like driving for very long. Very long distances. I don't fly. It's like an office to me. I understand. I go to eastern part of Turkey by my car. In I act as a driver, which is a torture, and I use it for my work. That is something good. I just go to short distances. Now let's talk about personal purposes of using. Do you like? Yeah, I like driving, and I have used automatic cars. It was not pleasurable, but in Istanbul, it's not pleasurable to drive either automatic or manual transmission. So now I'm just trying to understand what is pleasing about driving. I don't know if you have watched the movie named Bread. Uh, a soldier gets shot. Now he says, another guy talks about him, and he says that he has a wife, 2 children, and a car. That's how we describe ourselves, define ourselves. He has a wife, 2 children, and a car. That's all you have. Like in Turkish, man, we just follow what we see our fathers do, and so we start taking interest in cars at very young ages. I'm sure that's not the case in other countries. Like we have instinctively some interest in it. Like young children would steal their father's car away. Yeah, it's like a tension between father and son. It's like you're setting your freedom, and you just determine everything while driving. Uh, you are the decision maker. Nobody's telling you to stop or go. You can just use the handbrake and spin your car. You can do that. Yes, we enjoy speed. That's another thing. So I understand that you present your personality. You like doing what you want to do, depending on the car I drive. And if I have some space to try such things out, I can do even such things. The first to the right-hand side is saying that. Okay. Besides, what do you dislike about driving besides traffic? I just don't like driving because of manual transmission. My left leg feels so bad. So I like automatic transmission. And the parking is a big problem. That's why I have taken the tube today to come here. This location specifically is not good for driving. I wouldn't drive here. So if I'm not driving, I certainly... if I'm not driving, this means I need some walk, and or else there is a lot of traffic in downtown. This is a problem for you. Anything else? Same here. If I park my car in front of my home, I have concern over not being able to find the same parking lot in front of my apartment building. That's a huge problem. But whenever I can drive, it's pleasurable. I sometimes say this to myself, let's forget about that parking problem. If we are crowded, when I'm driving down the hill, I always think about getting a problem with the brakes. So will I be able to stop? That always is a question mark. Well, that has to do with the comfort and the maintenance of your car. What I like about my car is the best. My car should be well maintained, and it would never get stuck. So whenever the maintenance is due, I just take it. So mechanics is always important. The running parts are important. So, and I feel very good. I know that my car would never let me down. I see. And I always doubt, because the person who is doing the maintenance may be making a mistake, because this is some mechanical thing, and anything of that sort can always happen. What about this documentary we've had? What about our economy? How do you think Turkish economy influences the way you drive? It has a direct impact, unfortunately. Okay, you go ahead. How can I say? That's probably one of the major reasons why I don't get pleasure for driving, because I just drive when I have to. If we had higher income, I would drive a four-wheel drive and drive for the sake of pleasure only, and I would not drive inside the city. So yeah, I could drive to go to rafting, for instance, but otherwise, I mean, it's just a means for your needs. Therefore, just for the sake of transportation. But 20 years ago, owning a car was something different. It was a privilege, but for today, it is just something regular. And youngsters are asking for sporty cars. They get really bored for having to stay in the car, and they're right, you know. I mean, you have to do something. You just try to find ways of pleasing them. You know, you just try to display a movie, etc. Especially in the long distance drives. But it only is a torture. So sometimes your finances oblige you to buy whatever you can afford rather than buying something you really aspire. How else do you think it affects your driving? In Europe, the price of the same car is not the same in Turkey and in Europe. I know it because my cousin lives abroad, and then he can buy Mercedes for 20,000 euros. And you cannot do that here in Turkey. You have to use a lower segment car. And today's people are more sensitive about technology, and we want to catch up with the same technological elements when it comes to, you know, exterior and interior features. Once you include all of these as an optional feature, your price gets higher automatically. And we're not rich in oil, and we are using the most expensive oil, gasoline of the world. So we have to go for cars that consume less of fuel.
So you prefer vehicles with less equipment? Yeah, for financial reasons, of course. And you need to go for, and fuel consumption is very important. And there's one more thing. For example, if you are in between brand A and brand B, we make a comparison. Brand A could be 10,000, but it's the basic model, and brand B could be 10,000, but could come with the full equipment. So we make comparison in terms of, you know, full consumption, this and that. So we need to make a choice at one point. So we need to compromise on safety or fuel consumption or something else. So at that point, everything revolves around finance. So what do you choose then if you're in between? So what matters to you the most when you are, or when you need to compromise on one thing? To me, safety is first. Okay. Yeah, safety is first, and equipment would be the second thing. So it should be very spacious inside, in the interior for me. So, for example, he said safety is important. He said interior space is important, and you said you can compromise on equipment. Yeah, it's just functional. Yeah, price is important. The safety is very important. It should meet my needs. Let's say the same model, it may not have the fog lamps, but the lower segment or the lower model may not have fog lamp, and you can pay 5,000 less. So I would prefer the one without the fog lamp if I will pay 5,000 less. Okay, what's important to you, the other person? Yeah, I would agree. When I bought the recent one, for example, they showed me some options. For example, it was the same model, the same thing. One was with the full equipment, full options and everything. The other one had the, you know, the speed stabilizer, had the digital this and that. But the price difference was like 1,500 or 1,800 in 2013, and I didn't need to have all the equipment. I could have compromised on one thing. For example, you turn it like this, or you can press on the button. I don't need to press on buttons. I can just do certain things manually. So there were such differences between the models. So it doesn't have to stabilize or fix the speed. I can arrange or adjust the speed as I'm going. I don't accelerate much. I can arrange, or I can adjust myself to the speed. I can work on the clutch and accelerator. That's okay for me. So even one button could make a huge price difference. Okay. So Turkish people have certain or peculiar values. Are they important, or do they have an impact on how you drive, how you choose a model? Well, Turkish people, we care about, we were favoring Tofaş because availability of spare parts is important. Fuel consumption and spare parts cost is important. So you can't get everything repaired everywhere. For example, you have a car, but it could be an old engine, and they connect it to the computer, and your car and the computer program should be compatible. When you take it to the authorized workshop, for example, you have to pay a lot of money. They take 300 euros when you take it to the workshop. Okay. So as in terms of Turkish society and values, for example, what do you think? Do they have an impact? Well, there are some categorizations, of course. Some people have higher income, and higher income level would choose higher segment, for example. So there could be 3 classes. There are many classes, actually. There are workers, employers in society. Some people drive for pleasure. Some people don't care about the price, etc. So how about our traditions? Do they have an impact on your choices or on the way you drive? Turkish society. There are people with nationalist sentiments. Some people are, how can I say, not necessarily very patriot, but some people want to economize, and they have national sentiments, and they go for, we call the bird series, and they want the national economy to make money. So they want local production. Some people want local production. They want to support local production. Yes, some people have fixations like that. They don't want to get on Mercedes, like a foreign brand. They may not like foreign brands or German brands. I have a friend, for example, he doesn't get on Alfa Romeo. And since there's a cross sign, my friend doesn't get on Alfa Romeo. He has a fixation on that. But most people have such fixations. Yeah, my friend doesn't get on Alfa Romeo because of the cross sign due to... Okay, think of your own traditions, customs. Do they have an impact on the way you choose something? Well, we like large, spacious cars because we have children, we have large families, and we wouldn't want to get onto a small car. I like big cars. All of my cars are sedan, for example. So we are crowded families. There could be 3-5 people at the back seat. Normally, when you have no back door, there's a problem. I don't like that. So it should be very spacious inside. I prefer sedan. It should be very spacious. I want to feel comfortable inside. Okay, what else? People in Europe, for example, the family concept is different in Europe. Therefore, they're acting in individual ways. So most of the European cars will be smaller, will be more compact, will be like hatchback in Europe. But here in Turkey, the family concept is different, and we really embrace this idea of family. When we go somewhere, we go with the family. When we want to buy something, we buy with the whole family. If you want to buy a car, we always consider the family and the size of the family. So we wouldn't like small cars or compact cars. So the traditions have a role on the size of the car, of course. What else? Yeah, it's an important determining factor. I have my wife, my parents, my children, and I have 2 siblings. One of them has a car, the other doesn't have a car. If we want to go somewhere all together, for instance, it has to be a big car. That's how I made my preference. For example, a friend of mine had bought a hatchback. He was going to the hometown, and he was coming back because from the hometown, his parents gave him so many things from the hometown. And the father asked him, couldn't you have a bigger car? Because he was bringing so many things from the hometown. We have this habit of taking things from the hometown. So size is very important. It should be big. Okay. So lately, in car technologies, what have you heard of lately? The trends, the current trends in vehicle or car world. Well, there is this, lane departure, lane follow-up system. For example, it automatically adjusts itself to the lanes. There are such things. Navigations, most of the cars, we have navigation. So navigation. And speed balancer. He says balancer, so it may fix the speed if you want it to speed fix it. So technologies are involved. Yeah, I'm curious about the new technologies. Bluetooth, for example, we have it. So some of the cars offer this with reasonable prices. I have Bluetooth and rear view. I use Bluetooth a lot. I wouldn't get on a car without Bluetooth. It's unimaginable for me now because during the day I'm speaking on the phone a lot. Therefore, Bluetooth saved my life. So did you have it later? It came with the Bluetooth already. I preferred the car with the Bluetooth already, and it's indispensable to me now. And the rear view camera, that's also very important. Yeah, rear vision camera is very important. Okay, you said that some of you can compromise with some of the equipments for price, for safety. I'm more in the equipment side. He says Bluetooth is very important and rear vision or rear view camera is a must. And do you have such needs? What is indispensable for you? Any technologies you would want to have? Should be standard to me. Because sometimes I'm unable to do it. It's not for me necessarily, but my wife, for example, when she is to drive it, or when you give your car to somebody else, she may not be parking it properly. And also rear view camera should be there as well. These should come as standard, if you ask me. Yeah. For safety, the options. Some of the things, the park sensor is important for safety. Bluetooth is good for safety. These are really enhancing safety. These are not like optional things indeed. Yeah, I think rear view camera is a part of safety. I think so. To me, rear view camera and park sensor, these are incredible. Imagine the traffic in Istanbul. Parking is a problem in Istanbul, and all these distances are very important. So I can't properly see the difference. I can't see the back of the car. So rear view camera, I can see everywhere and all around with rear view camera. These are very important. So rear view camera, park sensor, these are not actually far-fetched ideas. These are critical. Yes. In the past, we didn't have park sensor. We were just slowing down. So no one is helping us on parking because they think we have park sensors already. Okay. So park sensor is very good for wives. Okay, I'll get your cars. You have Kia. Which year? 2013. And yours? Symbol Renault. New body 2013. And yours? Accent, Hyundai Accent. 2013. And Linnea. 2013. Hyundai Accent Blue. 2016. Good. So how would you describe your car with 3 words? Just 3 words. Best descriptors for your car. Agile. It lacks safety. He's laughing. It doesn't have safety. They're laughing at it. Unsafe. What else? Fuel consumption. So it doesn't use a lot of fuel. And yours? Yes, less fuel consumption. Equipment inside. And good price. Reasonable price. Okay. Tell me about the characteristics of your car. He said agile, unsafe, but we'll talk about fuel consumption, but tell me about the characteristics rather. What can I say? I don't know. Renault Sambo. What would you say about Renault Sambo? Describe it to a person who hasn't seen it at all. Well, when I wanted to buy this was new launch at that time. It was new in Turkey, and I sold my previous car before I bought this. Okay, so the looks was nice, the interior space was nice. Okay, so I thought that this is a good match for the family. I asked it to my children, so it was good. So it's good. It's a good match for family. Okay, Linnea, how about yours, Linnea? Full benefit and full response. So it's spacious inside, comfortable, and the trunk space is good, and the spare parts are not expensive. So it doesn't have the comfort. It's not very safe, but it meets all these things. So it's unsafe and uncomfortable, right? Yes. But it's Tofaş and it's better than Tofaş series. In our country, when you say safe car, first of all, three digits, three numbers can come to mind. So there are just, if you want something safe, the minimum price to pay would be 80,000 Turkish liras. You have to pay at least 80,000 for a safe car. So it would be a higher segment, 100,000 Turkish liras for a safe car. Okay, as you bought your car, why did you particularly choose this one? How come did you buy this? What were you looking for? What needs did it meet? The previous one was Renault 19. Imagine it had four wheels and just engine in the middle, and just that's all. And the seats, nothing else. And now I switched into this one. It has a road computer and the design is good. It has the cockpit. It calls it cockpit. So the visuals is better. It felt like moving into a new flat. And automated windows, the computer, and this and that. It has Bluetooth, the camera, and this and that. So when I make a comparison with the past one, it felt like moving into a new era. But of course, if there's a new launch of cars, so my new one becomes obsolete, outmoded. And maybe if I move into Passat, I will think that my new car is very old. So it always keeps changing. So it felt like an upgrade. Yeah, I really felt upgraded. Okay, what were you looking for? Why did you buy this one particularly? Hyundai, I'll ask you. There were three alternatives in my case as I was choosing. And I knew that mine Hyundai was very agile because I had already driven this. So agility is very important. Bluetooth, rear view camera. In the other models, I couldn't find all those with the same price. That's why I chose this one. But you said that the other cars had the same price? No, you wouldn't have Bluetooth and rear view camera at the same price in the other models or brands. So I preferred this one. But what were you looking for? I looked at Egea. I considered Egea and Fluence as well. And I had driven Fluence. I had tested it. And Megane was more expensive than this one. Therefore, I preferred this one specifically. Well, I think the commercials have a huge impact. For instance, no, the commercials create a different image. Maybe we were influenced. Yeah, commercials are very important. Okay, but why did you buy your current one? What were you looking for? The previous one, I really favored Volkswagen. I used to have Polo. I was looking for Jetta. And I asked the price of Jetta. I was looking for rear view camera and park sensor in Jetta. Sunroof, this and that. I wanted digital camera, AC, many things in Jetta, and the price they offered was 74,000. And I said, well, I wouldn't pay 74,000. And then I left there. I went to Kia, and my car was 60,000 with the full equipment. So it had more and more or upgraded equipment inside. It was the same full consumption and everything. And the price was lower. That's why I preferred mine. So the price difference was 15,000 Turkish lira. So I saved that amount. Okay. So what did you check and why did you stick to your own? I tried Opel, Renault. Out of these, well, Opel was much more different in terms of price. But I couldn't afford Opel. Actually, I had to make a different choice because of price. And in Renault was not very comfortable. The engine was very good. The speed was very good in Renault. And all the features were good. But comfort was just a bit less in comparison when comparing the price. So what comfort was lacking in Renault? For example, in Şahin Doğan, and when you make a comparison with Renault and Doğan, what can I say? The price. So Renault cares more about fuel consumption, agility, engine. So Renault cares more about other things. In Linea, compared to symbol of Renault, Linea has lower engine power. It lacks an engine power, I can say. But it was the best price. Linea was the best price in terms of the engine and everything. So it's not like it doesn't have the full equipment and everything, but within these financial means, Linea was the best. I made a comparison. I wanted to buy it. Okay, what do you like? What are the things you like about your current car? You can continue. What do you like about 3 things you like about your car? Well, what I like, well, I attach to what I buy. I like it. It meets all of my needs, firstly. So if I had more money, well, I could buy something else. But for me, in the past, yes, I cared more about pleasure and comfort, but it takes me in a healthy way. It meets my needs. But my question is this, Linea. What 3 things you like about your Linea? That's the question. Okay, the trunk capacity is good. The loading capacity at the back is good. And if you're halfway, if you're stuck on the go, for example, you can lie at the back of the car and you can sleep at the back. It gets all the camp and the tent and everything, and the barbecue material takes everything. The back seat, it's very comfortable, and they can lie at the back. And fuel consumption is good. Well, the power, the engine is lower, 95 horsepower. I had tried 90 horsepower, so it's a bit better than the previous model. Okay, let me ask you, if you could change 3 things about your car, what would you want to change? I would change the fuel consumption, but they increased the horsepower actually. Let me think. I would make it more compact. Well, the body is good, but it's maybe too big for Istanbul. So with the same comfort and everything, so I would just make it more compact. And there's this redundant empty space on the side, and I could shorten the front part and the back part, but they cared more about the look sector, so they want to come up with the better looks by making it longer at the front. And I would increase the safety barriers. I looked at the crash tests of Linea. From the front, for example, if there is a front crash or hit, or something, it becomes like an accordion. So you would want to increase the horsepower. What's missing? It's a big one. It's bulky, heavy. And when I'm climbing up a hill, it's difficult to make it up for the hill. If there are 5 people in the car, it's difficult to climb up the hill. You can't make it comfortable. Okay. So Sabahattin, what they like? 3 things you like about your car, and 3 things you want to change about your car. I like the automated windows. 4 airbags is sufficient. That's good. Okay. I think it has everything. What do you mean it has everything? It has its own things. It has the AC, air conditioner, the airbags, park sensors. So there is the hill support system or slope support system. What would you change, or what would you want to add or improve? Well, maybe the suspension could be brought down. It's a bit too high. The suspension is too high. If you are too, so what happens? What do you mean? Yeah, I don't understand about the suspension system. So as you accelerate, it feels like you are flying away, but maybe the suspension system could be improved. So we should be getting closer to the ground if we're accelerating. So what would be the benefit? What benefit would you want to reap? It would feel safer with the suspension system. When we're overtaking, it doesn't feel so safe because of the suspension system. If there's a bus passing near or passing next to us, it feels unsafe inside. When I'm overtaking a truck, so I feel we'll fly away. We'll just roll over. So it doesn't feel safe when I overtake. Okay, what else would you change? The seats, maybe, I don't know. I would work on the interior. The seats should be more comfortable. Yeah, they're not very comfortable. They're a bit weak in that regard. But if you ask me, the other person, in Turkey's road conditions, there are many ditches and there are many construction areas. But no, the seats are a bit higher up. What was your car? Symbol. It's Symbol. Renault Symbol. It's a new body, new chassis. The seats, as I said, when I sit on the seat, for example, it should be more comfortable. yeah, the upholstery is a bit weak, maybe. The seats are not so comfortable. There's nothing else I would ask for. And there could be a sunroof, maybe. But maybe it's just too much. It's okay. It's good to have the sunroof. And what 3 things you like about it? What would you want to change? What I like is a rear view camera. That's what I like, number one. The other thing is glass ceiling or roof, and the seat heating. What are the benefits? Seat heating, you said? For example, in winter time, when the car is cold, I press on the seat heating and the seats get heated, which is good. It's a good pleasure thing. It's good to see the sky as we're driving because thanks to the glass ceiling or the roof. Why is that important on the go? I get filled with peace on the go. It's good to see the sky on the go. I like it. So if you can't see the sky, what happens? I feel very gloomy inside. And the rear view camera is important. I like it. So it's good for parking. You already said that. Okay. So what would you want to change? But in Kia, there is this problem. It's atmospheric engine. So the engine is very weak. I would want to change the engine. Okay. So the engine is not powerful. What does it do to you? I don't drive aggressively though, but still when I accelerate, it should go. But when I put on accelerate, it doesn't go. I, so you agree with Rahmi? Yes, exactly. So the engine, when I go up the hill, it's just weak. Okay. Ahmed, what do you like about it? It's Hyundai. It's agile. I like the the pace. And what I dislike is lightweight, so it may just roll over very easily. So it should be more, heavy on the ground. There should be a camera system. We don't have it. What else? Let me think. Road holding or steering is good. And the back seats, there could be some controller adjustable air conditioning for the back seats. Why is that important? What will be the benefit of having it? Well, even if I don't use the back air condition, there are back passengers and I sweat a lot on the go. And I turn on the AC. Or maybe there could be something else. I don't know if they can make it. There could be tailor-made air conditioner. It's a very compact car, but in some of the cars they have tailor-made, individualized air conditioning system. For example, back passengers would want it hotter, or I may want it colder. So it depends on the person. The volume of the car actually. So they open the windows and they don't close them. Exactly. Yes, they're laughing. Imagine this compact car. I don't know if they can make tailor-made air conditioning for everyone. And you, the other person? Hyundai, I like the trunk capacity. Yeah, it's good enough. I like the agility of Hyundai. And I don't need to say the other things. I already said that I like Bluetooth. What I dislike is it's just too narrow inside. Where is it narrow? The back part, the back seats, it's too narrow at the back, too squeezed up at the back. The previous car was very spacious inside. It was C plus, it was the same segment, but it was much spacious at the back. But this one is too narrow at the back. Oh, I like big cars, spacious cars inside, as I said. Okay, your current car, what does it say about you? Let's put it this way. Think of a person who didn't know you. They only looked at your car. They only got into your car. And maybe they just drove with it. And what kind of an idea would they have of you? What would they guess about you? Well, who would say it could be sporty because Hyundai it's more, pompous or flamboyant, showy. It's more sporty looking. It's younger person. So it looks like a younger, sporty person, like an active person. Younger, more active person. Okay, what else? A friend of mine said that he said it's just a civil servant car. What does it mean? Very just economical. It doesn't have many features. It's just a standard car, my friend said. It's like a civil servant car. Okay. And what else? What would it think? I agree. It just, sweeps my feet off the ground. That's a saying. I don't care much about luxury in life, but it should be safe. He said it's car young. Yeah, it's a young car. And your car? I think he would say I care a lot about technology. He would think I'm interested in technology because everything is digital inside. There are two sides of the air conditioning, the seat heating. Kia is very good on that. Oh, okay. So as you drive your car, how do you feel when you're on the go? What feelings does it evoke? I used to be in Chole, another city. I've been to so many cities so far. And I started hating cars when I moved to Istanbul. Last night, for example, I went somewhere and there were 3, 4 guys. Maybe they were 18 years or something as I was driving. Maybe they were on their father's car. By the way, the car was all crashed down actually. And in our neighborhood, people just drive properly. Okay, but how do you feel when you're driving? Well, there's a really serious problem of safety. There's really a problem of safety, When you make a mistake, for example, you made it to accidents and this and that. It really happened earlier times. I was making long distances. Once I made an accident. I really couldn't get rid of that psychology. But these guys, I think most of the accidents were because of such people. So you feel unsafe. Yeah, I feel unsafe when I'm going. That's about the traffic jam in Istanbul. I try to care about, car insurance and this and that. But in Istanbul, with the city traffic, when you're in the city traffic, it's a problem. It's troublesome. You can't enjoy it. So I want to make sure that I'm safe and sound, and I just care about it. Okay, what else? How else do you feel?
So let's focus on how you feel. I feel happy because I'm free while driving. I love driving. Same here. How do you feel? I feel very good and happy. What kind of happiness is this? Imagine I'm back from work and I would wipe off my car because I love it, and I would just drive my children for a tour. And where would you go? What makes you happy? The fact that I go to my destination makes me happy because I love my car and I just take care of my car. You don't know what kind of reaction you will get. You cannot see what kind of danger there is on the roads, because I have taken my guests from the airport, and my guests from Germany got so much surprised at how the other people were driving. They were driving crazily around us. They're just changing lanes without flashing lights. So your previous car was Renault 19 and yours was Polo Sedan. It was Europa, Renault 19, the same car. It was Astra. It was Fluence. But they haven't renewed that model. That was a very good car, but there was much of noise at the rear-hand side, and they didn't produce any diesel variant of that car. I really wonder one thing. You went for a new car, and what's the difference between your previous and current car? When you walk into a social environment for a dinner, and when you're giving in your keys, it's like your business card. Imagine it's very much like putting your mobile phone on the table, which I hate indeed. People certainly take a look at what you have got, and as long as you can afford it. Because we have been driving long distances, and people sitting at the rear seats were very uncomfortable, and its air conditioning was not as good as desired, and the braking distance was not so long, and the windows were not automatic. It was an old car and getting breakdowns very easily, but we bought a brand new one, and I just recognized, I just felt that it was very luxury because of powered windows, and air conditioning was very fast, and acceleration was very good, and trunk was larger than my previous car. So you inevitably are upgrading it. So for the moment, my car is asking me to change it because there are better cars. Now, what made you go for a change? Why did you buy, and how does it help? Fluence does not meet anything. I liked Hyundai Accent. I wanted to make a change. Fluence was larger for one thing, and its driving pleasure was better, but I also like this car. Besides its insecurity, making me feel insecure inside. So why did you change your car with me? I didn't want to change it. It was out of obligation. In Astra, there are a few things. Like while listening to music with my kids, we would get fast and slower. And then we lost the balance of the car, and a driving steering wheel got out of order. So dancing was not good with that car. I just recognized that by firsthand. But the difference between my car and Opel, I have taken my car to maintenance, and the maintenance cost was high. In Turkish cars, you have a lot of options. Why then did you change it? Because I had an accident. That's why I changed my car. And I just switched onto this car, only temporarily, but I got used to it. And you know what benefits we have? Excuse me for a second. Ne kadar sürüyor şeysi başladı. 1,5 saat sürüyor herhalde diyor bir tane. Çok komikler.
Üzücü. Hayal kırıklığı olacak.
Efendim?
Hayal kırıklığı olacak.
Ya çok. So, why did you switch from Kia? Because mine got really old. I needed Kia. It's like Kia, an old body type of Polo were very similar, and Polo was older, and their rear windows were manual. But Kia is like the most equipped version of Polo, and I kind of got my car equipped. So, do you intend to change your car? Has there been any cars that look attractive to you? Any models? There are a few models indeed. What are they? For the moment, I wouldn't drift off from Renault. I would stick with Renault. But for the moment, Megane series is ideal to me. Megane sedan, you mean? Yes, that's ideal. So, are you taking a look at hatchback? No, sedan is always good for family. What makes you say it's interesting? I've been driving a brand new car, but Symbol, and there's huge difference between Symbol and the other one. It's much larger and more established. You don't feel like you're going to fly off while driving with two people. So you mean it's heavier? Yes, it's heavier. That's the term we use for it. And the suspension was very good. Do you intend to change your car?
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe after 1 year.
We just want them to talk more about future.
Honda Civic. I would consider buying that. What makes you say that? I haven't checked its
We start
interior features, but I don't think it's unequipped. I think it's
Features? We start
much
features?
higher than what we have considered.
Okay.
What about IKEA? IKEA also, I really
Yeah.
like IKEA's outer
And then
experience,
repeat it
appearance.
That is
Yeah.
close to
It
that,
looks handsome.
depending on
It's
people.
long and wide, and when you take a look at prices, it really looks very beautiful given that price. It looks really rich for that price. Yeah, IKEA. IKEA is certainly different from the usual style of Fiat. Fiat has got very nice cars for the moment, but its design is certainly different. IKEA has Italian style in terms of interior design. I have checked it for, a few weeks ago. There was this car fair, a car show. A new Megane is beautifully done. Its automatic transmission is very good, but it's Kia's Rio, an upper segment of Rio could be purchased too for me. What about you? Fiat, IKEA, and Passat are the two brands I can't decide. I wouldn't be able to, because you know why I would consider IKEA, because it's an economical car under Turkish standards. It's spacious. Its interior is space, and I haven't explored the specs very deeply, but it really is a gorgeous looking car. Absolutely, it's close to Florence or IKEA. First of all, it is visually impressive, but in terms of security, safety, I would go for Passat, because majority of these features are contained by Volkswagen, because Volkswagen is German car, and German cars are always robust, they're strong, and they consider everything, including what's going to happen to a child when you have an accident. And they have good engineering for cars. And I think a greater number of people are spending effort for cars in Volkswagen Group. So everything must have been tested. In IKEA, they have invested less, and it's less. It's more economical. Would it work for you for a few years? Yes, but there's just a difference of segment classes. Well, we have watched its many advertising on TV. IKEA's commercial is much different from others. When I pay attention to the ads of Renault Group, there is Talisman's ad. In Renault commercials, they show all the different models, but only IKEA is shown in that. It doesn't talk about details by showing a lot of different models, but IKEA shows one model and gives you all the details. So even if you don't buy it, at least you just take a look at the details shown on the ad. So there is an Italian style in it, and there was a word, you said something. Yeah, it is. It's a game changer. So even when you see it on the street, you take a look into it. So imagine that we have a magical wand in our hand who could do everything for us. If you are to change your car tomorrow, but of course, considering your current financial conditions, you know why I'm saying that? Because we're going to create a car which would meet our needs for the next 5 years. But when I say magical wand, I don't want you to come up with marginal things. Consider your own budget. So try to come up with an imaginary car in terms of its look. Let's first talk about the exterior and the interior. How do you think its design should be? I think it should be sporty looking, somewhat sporty looking. Yeah, it should be sporty looking. For one thing, it should be a head-turning car. I mean, if somebody sees it, he should turn head to take a second look. It should be long. Yeah, I like long cars, large cars. its trunk should be large. Yeah, you like large trunks. How do you think it should look? What about interior look? Interior should be equipped, well equipped. What? How do you think the interior should look? There should be a display, a screen, and there should be buttons on the steering wheel. A navigation controls should be on the steering wheel, like radio or navigation. And the gearbox always attracts my attention. It should be beautiful looking. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it should be inviting. Yeah, absolutely like that. It also offers ease of use. So how do you think gearbox could be made beautiful? It should be small enough to hold. And next to the gearbox, you could have some metallic trimming. Interior, they mentioned something. I just want some wooden trimming on inside the doors. The chromium could be used. So chromium trimming or else wooden trimming and lighting, interior lighting. Also that is embedded inside the floor and the doors and the steering wheel. Excuse me. I may really like pink looking display, the screen, so you're too fast for me to write down. I think the steering wheel should be heated. My hands are getting frozen in winter. Okay, what do you think these are going to offer you? Yes, seats should be heated. And you know what happens? We all are men, but there's also the female factor females, they use the cars too. So a car should be able to appeal to a man as well as a woman in the family. So you should have storage compartment for their makeup materials. You can change the color of the display. Ladies may go for red or pink. So the lighting of the display may be changeable. So in terms of equipment, what do you want in the interior? I mean, seating heating is very important. A rear cam, Bluetooth, and speed fixing mechanism. And you have sliding. The seats should not be slidable, but it should have a button for changing the position. And I think the spying mirror should have a memory. Yeah, I agree. So my settings for the spying mirror should be memorized. So all my settings should be customizable for me and my wife separately. What do you think it's going to offer you any memory? It's just a matter of comfort, feeling comfortable. So comfort elements has to do with how well you can drive. So you can elevate or descend the seats, and so you can descend or elevate or change the position of the steering wheel as well as the seating, pilot seats. If you're going to drive a car for a long time, you spend some 5 minutes to change the settings of your car. Interior and exterior equipment certainly are going to make us happy. If you have a memory seat, you can change the position. Like my wife changes the settings of the seat, the pilot seat, and I have to change it each time I drive my car. So in upper segment cars, you have this kind of customizable seating memory.
And there is another.
Like if you have
which is the correct market, right?
Yeah.
You have set.
We decide tomorrow.
So automatically the seating automatically adjusts itself. So you're talking about some comfort. So what does this comfort element offer you? It certainly makes you happy. That is so simple. You know what happens? We usually we have polarity between happiness and unhappiness. Yes, that's right. And it's a very individual perception of happiness that you describe. So your happiness may be quite different than mine. Even when I drive a car tall, it's going to take me from point A into B. But if I drive a car with these specifications, he's going to take me to the same place. But, you know, except that I'm going to feel a lot happier with all these comfort elements. Yeah, I'm going to spend quality time inside my car. What about engine-related information? You didn't say anything about that. How do you think the engine? It should be a hybrid engine. I mean, it should have automatic electric system up to a certain speed, and it should be charging itself as you drive it. Yes, and you should have start-stop, and they already have launched a car that charges itself. Yeah, and even more. Why do you want hybrid engine and chargeable, automatically charging? Because it would save you some electricity, and environment is also important. Any other engine-related expectations? I think hybrid engine is certainly good for protecting the environment, and they have already enhanced its power. I mean, you have to have strong engine. They probably produce an engine greater than 2,000 cc volume. The engine should be fast, because engine is something personal. I mean, regardless of how fast your car is, you may not want to drive aggressively. But if you want to use it aggressively, you need certainly a stronger engine. Anti-slip, anti-skidding, and uphill support. Are there any such cars? Yeah, we already have come up with a car which is very expensive. This would cost you 100,000 Turkish liras. There are many brands offering these features. To make an example, Volkswagen, in the case of Volkswagen, it would be sedan. Passat is the sedan. In Mercedes, C and E series are like this. BMW series, you have 3 and 5 series. And in the case of Renault, Talisman is like this. And Megane is close to this. I can see Egea here in this class. Yes. Okay, good. Has Egea launched any such hybrid engine? No, it hasn't. Does any of these brands meet hybrid engine requirement? In BMW and Mercedes series, you've got that, but the price gets extremely high. Now, can we please talk about the body type, like hatchback versus sedan? A car should certainly be sedan. I mean, it should be dignified and assert its existence. Now, this is a subjective. I'm just expecting your subjective perception. Anyway, I would like to understand your imagery. I mean, sedan has to do with comfort. Hatchback is sporty, aggressive, but sedan is good for families and for middle-agers. Yeah, it's like father's car. Hatchback certainly offers an advantage of parking, especially in Istanbul traffic. Hatchback is certainly a car for youngsters. And more practically, it's a women's car. And for none of the civil, public offices, people would buy hatchback. They would always buy sedan. Yeah, in public offices. You know what happens in ladies? Like, whenever my elder sister gets onto my car, she feels insecure. But because whenever she drives a smaller car, she feels more secure. That's good for her size. Okay. So you think hatchback is for ladies? Yeah, usually it's for youngsters and for women. Okay. So you said that sedan is for middle-aged group and fathers. It's a father's group. It's more charismatic. What about driving feeling? It's a game changer. Why do you think so? It's exceptional. I mean, sedans. And could you please tell me about that? You know what? When you put something at the backhand side, it gets higher. I mean, you can't. You just have to enclose the flap, but when you put something into the trunk of sedan, nothing would be visible, even if you squeeze things in. So I understand that it is good for camouflaging. Yeah, it really contains everything. Sedan is certainly safer. Just like he said, anything. I mean, indeed, sedan may not be more or less safe, you know. But hatchback is small, but sedan looks more secure. In terms of safety, sedans get less of damage upon impact from both sides. Which one gets less of impact? Sedans are less exposed from both sides. On both sides. Excuse me for a second. Now, Volvo is another class of its own. I mean, when it comes to sedan versus hatchback, Hyundai sedan versus Volvo hatchback, if you compare these two, Volvo would just win the game, sure. Hatchback has got many features as we listed. It's sporty, agile, young, advantages in terms of parking. It's a car for women. Women are better in control of it. What about, what's the downside of hatchback besides not having a large trunk? Well, the things like my wife has just attained her driving license. She started driving, and she can't have strong control over sedan, but for me, I have the feeling that large cars are safer because I've had impact from the rear hand side. So I have the psychology of having a large trunk at the back hand side to protect you from impact. And gorgeous look and established look, dignity, and larger space. I mean, these are the three differences that sedans would offer you. Other than these, they're comparable. What about the downsides of sedan? It's a parking problem. That's the only thing. Maneuverability. There's fluence in our apartment building, and he has to leave his car to the outdoor parking lot because he can't maneuver the car in the smaller area in the closed parking lot. But hatchbacks are very much like rats. They can drive into anywhere, and they can drive in and out. And taking the curved roads is stronger in sedan, but hatchback is. Well, they started talking together. I don't compare it to A3, of course. With Audi, that's A3 is another hatchback. Audi, but Renault 19 has got hatchback, but they can't compare them in terms of safety. I still go for a sedan for its safety. So, are you saying this? So you think sedan is safer in higher level brands, and is that the case? Yeah, sort of. Quality always makes a difference. Now, if you didn't have any financial concerns, if you could afford to buy a4 hatchback, would you prefer to buy that over another sedan? I may still want to get a larger car. If I had that much of money, I could buy 3 Series rather than 5. So you would want a larger car still, yes. Now I'd like to show you some car pictures. And these are they're not branded, they are prototypes. I just got a bit bored. Can we get some fresh air? How much more do we need to go? We have a lot to do, a lot more to do. We're just starting. Now, could somebody help me with the AC because I can't turn it on? I'm going to have a break. But we have a heavy schedules. We'll have a break for a second.
Okay, I'll show you some cars, and I'll like to get your opinions, but I don't want any sentences, okay? Don't tell me I like it or I dislike it. I couldn't get. Please describe me what you see, okay? Tell me the scriptures. Don't tell me I like it, I dislike it, etc. This is S1 for recording. Sorry? The design and the rims are great. It looks like Jeep SUV. It's perfect, perfect. I think the tires are too appealing. They could have been somewhat more plain, just the tires. The top looks like Mercedes, but the bottom part is like sports cars. I think there's a contrast between the top part and the bottom part. I like it, the other person. Okay, but I'm not asking if you like it or tell me adjectives. Describe this to me. SUV, Jeep. I would call this SUV, Jeep. Okay. For example, assume that I couldn't see this, moderator is saying. How would you describe what you see? I have no idea about it. This is probably like BMW X6, or it looks like Mercedes MR, some segment, that series. It looks like those. Okay, what else? Toyota new one, new model. Toyota new Jeep or SUV. It looks like that. It's between sporty and SUV. It's like a combination of sporty car and SUV. It's like a middle chassis or middle or in between body. Yeah, it looks like a mixture. Who would drive it? Who do you imagine driving this one? Women within the city, maybe. I would buy it. It could be me. It could be me. Yeah, it could be me. They're laughing. I think women. The only one says women. I would take a test drive for sure. If they offer a test drive, I want this. Okay, how about the personality of the car? It's like the naughty guy in the city. Aggressive, naughty guy in the city. It says, I'm here. It shouts at you. It has a good personality, settled personality, established personality. And it really made a difference with the rims, the steel rims. Yeah, the rims and the head really made a difference. They're big. The rims, the tires, I think it will have a very good road holding or traction. I think so. It looks really safe. On the go, for example, I would really want to make long distance with this car. How about the values of this car? The properties? You told me about sedan hatchback, and tell me about this. It wouldn't be less than 100,000 liras. It would be expensive. I tell you the downside. The boot part, the trunk. The trunk would be small, but apart from the small trunk, it could be perfect. What could be perfect? It's impeccable, flawless. Why? I think if a person to drive this, the owner of the car would not care about trunk capacity. Why not? I think the trunk would not be very small. It would have good trunk capacity. No, please, one by one. I think the driver of this car, the owner of this car, wouldn't mind about trunk capacity because he would have some other car and he could load things into the other car. This is a pleasure car. Is this hatchback? Is this hatchback? This is hatchback. Is this sedan? I don't see it. Tell me. It looks like sedan. Like a sedan plus SUV, like a combination. It looks like SUV. I think this is an SUV, like an SUV or a combination. Well, the back part. So I think that won't be. I have this fixation with sedan that if there isn't a mellow door in the trunk, for example, we shouldn't feel it on the front or the back seat. That's why I prefer sedans. And in this one, it's just like the series. It's just like between sedan and hatchback. And the trunk, and the back seat could be folding down. Okay. If I wanted to change my own car, I would want to have hot water capability. Why? I would like to have a mini refrigerator, mini fridge. I wish I had that. Well, the back seats could be folded down, but look at this one, not the other cars. So could this be our next car? That looks, yes. Depends on the money, depends on the price. If I could afford this, this could be my next car, as long as I could make this financially. Let's look at the other one. You will describe this to me as well. S2. The printing quality could be a bit bad. What do you see here? Well, this is like sedan. They just made the tires higher up. It's just sedan with bigger sedan. The rims, the rim wheels are bigger. The back part is short. How else would you describe it? Well, it's just higher up from the ground. If you know Ford Focus, new Ford Focus, the tires are bigger. It looks like an SUV of Ford Focus. It looks like a higher up model of Ford Focus. I like higher up cars. It shouldn't be lower to the ground. Tell me adjectives, descriptors. The version has changed. It's very familiar though, very familiar. Yeah, it's like a different version of Fluence. It's not very appealing. It's like an official car with big tires, but I think it's not very nice. Okay. What adjectives, descriptors would you use to describe it? This is a blah blah car. This is a strong car. It's an ugly car. What else? Yeah, it's just ugly. It's ugly. Normal. Ugly. With slanted eyes. Okay, how about the driver of the car?
Oh, yes, please. Absolutely.
It would be a woman. In Istanbul, normally, most of the Jeep or SUV drivers are women in Istanbul due to the traffic jam. I think it's a 30-year-old person driving it. How about the personality of this person? Tell me about this person. He's indecisive. He's in between. Why? Maybe his psychology is just upside down. He's there laughing, joking. He doesn't have the minimum salary, of course. He's not a civil servant. I'm a civil servant, but it's sort of higher segment, I can say. Those with a salary of more than 15,000. What is this? Salary would be more than 15,000, maybe. Okay, let's look at S3. S3. It's insignia, definitely. What do you see here? It's like a nostalgia car. Nostalgic. Insignia, you said? I think this is nice. It's like a father's car. That's what we call it. Like a well-settled. It's spacious inside. Okay, what else? Like a father's car. Yeah, it's a father's car and a good car to drive for official purposes. Or for official tasks. Describe me further. I can't see this. Assume I couldn't see this. Like, you know those Sadri Alışık, the old-time Turkish films. It took me back to the old-time Turkish films. This is very familiar though. Yeah, very familiar. It's apparently very spacious inside. Very spacious inside. No, insignia, like insignia. How about the characteristics, the personality of this car? Like, I think official figures would drive it for official tasks. This is comfortable, safe, higher segment, like a father's car. It has a very strong engine, I guess. What do you mean by father's car? It's bigger, more bulky, bigger and spacious inside. It's very big, but it has a good energy, powerful energy. Okay, what else about the personality? I think it's a civil servant car. What I mean, well, it belongs to the state. Yeah, it's definitely like a state, an official figure at the state. His car, this is his car. It reminds me of something, but I can't really remember it. It's like a, I don't know what model this is. It's not Mercedes-like, but something else. Okay, how about the driver of this person? Assume that you saw this on the go. Well, I would just follow this person. I would think it's a business person, businessman, governor, a person with a classical business suit, a classical person driving it with a business suit. Nuri Alço is laughing from the Turkish films. Could this be your next car? No, no, no, not the next car. No. Okay, let me put these apart. S4 now, S4. What does it say? Adjectives, please. It's similar to the other one. Which one? Is it similar to S3? No, the first one. The first one, no. Well, it's closer to the ground in comparison to the first one. It's not very comfortable because it gets narrower on one part. Well, personally, the other one was like a business person car, and this is the owner of the holding. You don't need to see the front part because the person has a driver, and the owner of the car is at the back seat because there is a driver already, a private driver, and he's enjoying the comfort at the back. It's comfortable inside. While the owner has full control because he has a private driver. He's enjoying the pleasure at the back. Okay. But don't think of it with a car with a private driver. Who would really drive it? Describe me the driver of this car. How about the character of this car? This is most probably a family car. Because the trunk is very spacious and it has a high, ceiling, it must be very spacious inside, but it gets narrower on one part. Okay, the front part is long, very long. But I think this font, retain the wind. What do you mean? What does that mean? So the wind won't be a hindrance to its acceleration. Okay, the steering will be good, so it's agile, it's fast. Could this be our next car? Yeah, could be. Yes, could be. I can get on this. Yes, it could be my next car. Yeah, why not? S5? This is nice. Yes. And everyone can get into it. This is very sporty. Yeah, very nice. It's like Audi. It's like Audi A8. Audi A8, somewhat like that. But this is young, both sporty and sedan at the same time. Young and good. It's 4 doors, not single door. It's like a silhouette on printing. Don't worry about the printing quality. The looks is appealing. What's the feeling it evokes? Good. It's a family car. It's both a family car and a sporty car. And I'm a bit hesitant. I don't know the space at the back. The seats will be lower. I'm not sure about the back space. So will it be too low somehow? I'm not sure about the back seat comfort. It could be too narrow at the back. I have some question marks. It may not be very spacious inside. I'm not sure about the comfort at the back seat. So how about the characteristics, the character of this car? It's perfect, one says. It's a young person's car. It's very agile, fast, I guess. Very agile, fast. I think the owner would be middle-aged, not very young necessarily. Young people would love it. Okay, what else? It's good. How about the driver? What would you say about the driver? The person could be a middle-aged man or person. Agile person, fast, agile. Okay, good. Could this be our next car? That could be. Why not? I'm not sure. It could be. Yeah, it could be.
Az çekelim.
S6 now. S6. Wow. What do you see here? Tell me more. S6.
Sade vardı, sade.
This is also nice. It's the same body, right? Please, one by one. You're speaking all at the same time. Yok, ben almayacağım. İçerideki hanımefendi götürebilirsin. Sağ ol. Well,
Yeah.
the back seat, the back passenger.
Yeah, ready to see me.
So the back windows are a bit smaller. So I'm not sure about the visibility from the back. Okay, what do you think about this one? Tell me more. Describe it.
Because I was to say the same.
So the previous three had the same body. It's the same body, the same shape actually. Maybe the engine power is different and the tire or the rim sizes are different in between different models. If the rims is 17 and the previous one would have 16 rims. This one is like classical sedan. The previous ones were a bit away from the typical things. You know, the titanium things? I think this is classical sedan, not nothing else. Okay, how about the personality, the character of this car? It's just normal, family car, normal, middle class, middle income people could drive it.
Maybe we can.
Like an old people's car.
This picture.
Yeah, I think it's an older person, not middle-aged. Could this be our next car? No, no.
Make a group with 6.
Yeah.
It's not very different from what I'm driving now. It's not very different. I can actually get into this one. Why not? Why not? That was a higher up. I like one of the previous ones, not this one. But I'm just curious about this one, not the previous ones. If you saw this, could this be our next car? Yes, why not? I would want. If I only had this option, yeah. It's, I can buy, but it's not wow. Okay. The last one, this is the last one. It says, it looks like the same as the previous one. The back part is like Mercedes. And tell me more about it. I don't see it. This is, more settled to the ground. The tires and the tire parts is like Fluence. Ford Focus, they copied some parts from Ford Focus. And the back part is higher up, right? It's not very low or close to the ground at the back part. I think the back passenger part would be higher up from the ground. So the trunk capacity seems to be higher than the previous ones. It could be my next choice, one person says. So how about the character, the personality of this car? It's unattractive. The back part is very bad. To shake around, I don't know. This one, the back part, it could roll over. It feels unsafe. It must be aerodynamic, but it doesn't look very safe. Is it the back part that feels unsafe? Yes. Okay, tell me more about the characters. It's just standard family car. I think this is fast. This is ambitious, and an ambitious car. What makes it ambitious? The front part could be fast and agile. Okay, if you stop it on the go, who would drive it? I could drive it like the family guy. A father can drive it like a family guy. Who else would drive it? So I think young people would not be suitable. People in their 50s. It could be mine. So could this be our next car? Yes, yes. So you have chosen many. You have chosen S1, S4, S. Okay, get closer. She's putting them on the table now. Tell me your favorite, please. S1. Yours is S1. It's mine. Not these ones. These you haven't chosen the other ones. S1, one more person. S6. S1, I said. S1. 3 people said S1. Okay. S1 looks very cute. When I put on the accelerator, I think it will go very fast. He's talking about S1, I guess. Okay, apart from S1, anything else you have chosen? S1? I don't like S1, one says. I choose S4, one person. Why? Yeah, if there was no S1, I could go for S4. Why? Due to the features I said. Yeah, that one. S4 I choose. One more person. Well, S4. Just a second, please. Which one is more showy? Please, please. I think S4 is better. S1 is too flashy. This one. Is it the back part or the front part in the other one? They use the same body. I couldn't understand the front and the back part on one of these. S4 says there's no problem in trunk capacity. How about the exterior? What does it say? Well, S4 is sporty, family car, flashy at the same time, comfortable. First of all, S1 is high. S1 says I'm sporty. It says I have good performance. And there's safety in me, it says. And trunk capacity is also good. To me, it says I'm a Jeep. When you look at S1, you don't see a sedan, right? You see an SUV. Yeah, we see SUV sedan. Let's call it SUV sedan. And when you look at S4, it's a classical sedan, yes. Okay. Let's talk more about the interior now. I think we started with like, yeah. Okay. I'll show the interior. When we look at the interior, just like we talked before, discussed before, if you were inside the car, how would you feel yourself inside? Okay? This is This is interior 1. I have to tell them like that for interior 1. This is like, what was that car? There is this new car. It looks like that. Okay, tell me, describe this. You don't have to liken it to something. First of all, it looks like cockpit, airplane cockpits. Very good. Yeah, everything is good. Things are not spread around. It looks very neat and tidy.
I like that, the comparison with something else.
While the screen is like a tablet.
I like that they described it like that.
It's too spacious.
Looks like,
That the screen is too big. What else? How else would you describe interior? What are the adjectives? It's very technological. Very technological. Most probably, it comes with a full package. For example, if somebody wants to take it, for some reason, you need to train him so that he can drive it. So a person who couldn't, I think it's a bit confusing. The screen took up a lot of space, I guess. There's so much space given to the screen. It would distract your attention as you're going. The screen would distract your attention on the go. But the digital AC buttons and this and that, they're not there. Everything is digital. Yeah, everything is piled up in the middle. Otherwise, you have to work on the press buttons. So how is the ambience created by such an interior design? It feels like, driving an airplane. How would you feel? I would be happy. I would just fly with happiness, I would say. So I have full control. But I would be hesitant at the same time because there's too much of everything. Because my eyes could be stuck on the screen. The screen is too big. It could be distracting. It's too distracting. Could be distracting me on the go. So the driver, well, it may not be very suitable for the driver. Not very good for drivers. So my mind could be on the screen. So I feel like doing something on the screen, and it could be destroying my attention. Let's say there is a video, you want to change the clip or something, you want to change channel on the screen, and you will be totally distracted. And there will be internet, most probably. It will be very distracting. Even if there's no video or something, I think if you have it, when you get closer to 150 meters, there would be automatic brakes, most probably. There should be automatic brakes because your eyes may be on the screen. Sometimes I get very close to the other cars, and so I expect the technology is very high. What kind of a car would match it, would be suitable for us? S1? No, let's not match those. Out of the cars that you know, very high segment. It should be very high segment. First of all, it would not be less than 500,000 Turkish liras. It would be very expensive. Yeah, it must be a high segment. But I don't think it's as high as 500,000. It must be around 150,000 liras. It must be more expensive. Could this be suitable for your next car? Could be. Yeah, why not? Yeah, could be. Because it's superior to what we have driven so far. I actually like touch screens. This is ideal. I would enjoy this. To me, this is very good. But for my wife, she would never want that because she likes classical things. This is interior too. Let's look at it. Wow, that's great. One says this is definitely my thing. Wow, glass everywhere is very light, very spacious. I think this must be S1, and this must be very good. And the concentration is definitely geared to the outside. So there's nothing redundant here. It's very spacious. No redundancies inside. Very spacious, very good. Can you see it, Garip? Yes. I couldn't see the gearbox. This is very nice. The design is very good design. Very pleasant must be very pleasant to drive. So I should see the others as well. Okay, but take this alone. Don't make comparisons. We'll do the comparisons later on. Take this individually. So, how would it feel to drive it? Very good. I think I would really drive pleasure. I would be, very happy, extremely happy to drive it. And the gearbox, the gear, the screen thing, these are very important. I think the way it looks, the middle part, it really is good. The middle part is good. How is the ambience it creates? Well, very plain, but there is good technology at the same time. Plain with good technology. It doesn't tire me. The previous one could be tiring though. Which car would be suitable for this interior? One, S1. No, I'm not asking S1 or something. Out of all the cars that you know. Honda, not Honda, no. Picasso. What was that? Picasso. Strong Picasso could be good for this. Could be suitable. Okay. Honda. I think it could be Honda. Honda Civic. I have driven Honda and I know about Honda. So the front part is long. It looks like Volvo. If you ask me, would this be suitable for you? No, not mine.
But
You can hide it.
For the next one.
But she's doing right.
Yeah, could be.
Not yet, not at this stage.
Actually, it's not an inspirational thing. It's good. These are standard. And this one, this is 3. This is classical. It looks like classical, as he said, nostalgic and old time. Looks like a boat. Yeah, like a boat, but different. Most probably, touch screen and round, gear. There's no gearbox. It's classical though. Yeah, classical. So apart from being classical, what else can you say? Very plain. Too plain. It's too plain. It's a bit narrow, right? The seats are a bit narrow. Okay. Nostalgic. All time. Nostalgic. Like 70s, 80s time. Apart from that, plain. The glove compartment, for example. Where is the glove compartment? I couldn't see it properly. Okay. How would it feel to drive this car if you sat here? I wouldn't enjoy. No. It could be a married couple, like, photography time cars. Like a wedding ceremony car. It's good to be photographed, but not to drive. How would you feel? I think I could drive it. Why not? One says. How would you feel inside? I would feel very classical. How else? Old time, nostalgic. What would be the benefits? The other one would be nicer. I think the gear would be from the steering wheel, I guess, would be attached to the steering wheel. That's what I assume. Let's look at the other one. Interior 4. What do you see here? Ah, this is good. Nice. What's nice? It's sporty. Sporty, there's technology, first of all. And the meters, the gauges. Look at the gauges. It's like Audi A8. It looks like which part? This part. It calls it cockpit, the front, the middle part. The gauges, the road computer. It looks like Audi A8. Yeah, it comes. I think it has a full package and all the features in it. It looks nice, beautiful, sporty. I think most of the new segments look like it. These are like German Audi Passat. It looks like that. You know, Ford Focus has the same dashboard. It says flash. It looks like an expensive car. Yeah, very looks expensive. How is the ambience here? Well, this looks technological, sporty, sedan, and has a young line. So if you are buying something first hand, it should come like this. This should be taken as a necessity, not like a luxurious thing. I think you wouldn't have the same thing in Hyundai and Peugeot. They wouldn't have such a design. In Kia, for instance, there are incredible features like SUV, but they don't look like this. Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. So the new looks is more like a please one by one. What looks expensive? For instance, the gear, this part, the gear part, the metallic part, and the screen, the steering wheel, they all look expensive. And there's also the wooden line. You know, there is this line. If you exclude the AC, for example, well, it doesn't look so luxurious, one says. No, it's beautiful though. It's beautiful. Well, it meets most of the expectations though. The one of the previous ones was distracting, but this has everything that needs to be there. How would you feel driving it? Great, great. I think it's using sensors, right? I would enjoy driving it. Yeah, the 4 cameras. How would you feel inside? I would be very happy. The other one? Interior 5. Wow. Wow, it's too eye tiring. Wow. It's more, how can I say? Well, they're flying cars, like in science fiction cars. Okay. Yeah, I agree. This could belong to the year 2040. What do you think? It's advanced technology, very advanced technology.
What is the feeling behind it? No, I don't think it signifies any advanced technology. Those lights.
It certainly has a different design when compared to today's designs. How do you think it would feel to drive this car? I would drive it. Yes, I would. Yes, I understand, but how would you feel to drive this? I think for me it would be a bit confusing to drive. I would be scared to push the wrong button. I'd feel secure, safe in that car rather than safety. I think they highlighted visual aspects. And its steering wheel is like Ford minibuses. It's a bit too big, so I didn't like it so much. Which car do you think this could be? I think it looks too electronic. I think the doors would be automatic with the push of a button. Yeah, it's very fast and too electronic. Yeah. The next, do you think this could be your next car? It may be. Would it offer you anything? What benefit? It probably would make your life easier if it really has the features we mentioned. Yes, it would facilitate your life.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all in the same segment. This is just a matter of personal preference. Yeah, they just made a special look, so it wouldn't offer you any extra thing. I would initially think this is an appearance. Well, that is the intention anyway. Let's take a look at this. This is number 6. This looks like a tram. I don't see anything. I mean, I see something, but why don't you take a look, closer look?
I don't know.
Well,
Next one.
it's dark in the evening and there's something different about the display, the screen. Well, there's a road, I think, and it's like a driving aid or driving assistant. Drive assist. Yeah, I mean, we are heading for this. The future is promising for that. Like, this is like a hologram. You just talk to him. It's very much like Back to the Future movie. Are you asking for my opinion? I'm asking for the opinion of everybody. In my opinion, this is like a simulation and it doesn't appeal to me. Why not? This is too advanced. This probably would suggest a price higher than 300,000 Turkish liras. This is not a simulation of a meeting I would be invited. Well, I mean, there was a superb car in Back to the Future movies. I mean, he was flying kind of thing. You know, in large buses, you have panoramic viewing and it's like a bus console. What else would you say? I feel really confused to look at this. I mean, this is not for a small car. This wouldn't look good in a small car. Yeah, this is for a spacious car. I mean, you would be scared in darkness. This has happened to me, you know. You may feel a bit intimidated. What? Yeah, you would be surprised to see something suddenly popping up, talking to you. I mean, for the sake of comfort and features, yes, you can do. I mean, this is certainly upper segment, but you may even feel scared in the darkness. Is this an optional driving mode? Imagine you're driving at nighttime and your eyes feel tired, and then the system may ask you to just drink some coffee. And what would you?
Do we see it in the comment part?
What about the driving assistant? That in your next car? I wouldn't want that. No. I don't know. I couldn't make sense of this. Indeed. Okay. Well, you could have this in large long vehicles or in buses. You could have that. What about this? This is number 7. This is like the interior space of Ferrari. This is a sporty car. What makes you say that? Because the seats are a bit slanted. They're a bit tilted, and it looks, you know, sporty. Interior part of Honda is like this. Excuse me? You have the stick, the siding stick, and it looks like a sporty car. What else does it communicate to you? I mean, it's talking about a current car. It's a classic car, upper segment car. And that's the kind of design. Now, how would it feel to drive this car? Good, nice. I just don't want the word good. This was
right.
manual.
Could not be satisfied with just.
I love manual transmission.
Generic. When people suggest say good, push them. Probably.
I would give it to my wife. Why? This is kind of, I don't know how to put it. It's a sporty car and it's a bit reliable and it's a bit sedan.
What they mean by
No,
sporty.
on the contrary, the seating upholstery seem a bit classical to me. Yeah. Its console is beautiful and gearbox console and the dashboard look nice. Now, what brand do you think it belongs to? Excuse me, I'll bet. There may be a problem when you park your car in a wrong place. It's already 9:30. It looks like a Jeep inside. It's a high clearance car. Let's take a look at number 8. This is like science fiction too. It's an imaginary design, hypothetical. Yeah, it's just imaginary. Maybe something to be used in 2070. Like my son may want to buy a car like this, but not myself. Yeah, it's appealing to children below 20 years of age. It's young. Why do you think so? It's because of the style, you know. The lines are really. No, what makes it look younger? It's just confusing. It's just redundant and confusing. Okay, why? Let me just spread them on the table so that you can choose. I'm sorry, the table is too big and I cannot reach up to you. That's fine. I have chosen number 4. Can you tell me why? This is what you should have in a car and what makes you say it's good for you. This is the old school. This is old type. Electronic dashboard. Wait, let's listen to him. Please talk one at a time, otherwise we lose a lot of time. It's old type, you know. You see everything in regular dashboard, not in digital dashboards. You don't have, it's automatic transmission, automatic AC, and that's just usual, normal, and fine. I would go for number 2. It's spacious, and you have panoramic sunroof. You have got everything, and it looks like a high clearance car at the same time. I would go for number 2 for the same reason. Yeah, I love this console. What makes it attractive to you? I think you've got the right size of display. I don't want it to be too large. And mine is horizontal, but this is vertical and looks nice. And seems to be more spacious inside, and it has got sunroof. Sebastian, why don't you take a look? Which one would be good for you? Others have mentioned 2. Number 2 people have chosen 2, and 1 person has chosen 4. I've chosen this one. That's number 4. Could you tell us why? It's more technological inside, which I like, but not the technology that you have in number 6, but in 4. I couldn't really I couldn't make sense of number 6. In 100 years of time, I could have chosen that. Number 5 looks really weird. Number 6 is even more weird, but number 4 is good. It's good, but you know what I don't like? Is this digital watch, clock, or manual? I don't know. What about yours? You have mentioned, yes, you have chosen number 2 already. Okay, you go for 2 and 4. So which one is the winner? Number 4 is winning? I think number 4 is very good. For one of them, you said it's sporty. Which one have you chosen as sporty? This one. What did you, number 7? What did you mean? No, just the opposite. I said it's classical looking. Some of you said. Number 4 is also sporty. Now, what do you really mean when you say sporty? I mean, it's a younger style. Young look. But it's both sporty and dignified. You've got, you know, sunroof. I think it's glass top, panoramic sunroof. Now let's collect them. We have a lot of material to cover, so I'm moving ahead quickly. This time, I'm going to spread them all together. And could you please come closer? You may want to stand up. I just want to show all of them to you because we have a lot. Why don't you take a look and tell me which ones would stand out for you? We will just talk about those, and also those that would not attract your attention at all for your next car. I mean, let me just explain it to you. This is a chargeable one, and this is self-charging electrical engine. So this automatic cruising, you know what cruise control is. So you just release the gas and you do that manually, and the car drives in the same lane. This is functional design. You've got, you know, pockets and storage compartments, and windscreen has the reflection of the dashboard, and this is trunk, access, and capacity. This is long leg distance and extension, leg extension, high roof, and customized setting for seating. Now I'm going to describe all of them. You know, an advanced middle console design, a different design, full LED lighting, front headlights. Tell me which ones you like most and those that you don't care about at all. The most important thing for me is the hands-free thing, you know? Hands-free. I mean, you should have that. You should have that so that the car drives automatically. And long leg distance, yeah. And a monitor behind the seats. Okay, leg distance. Yeah, it should be hybrid. If a fourth person sits, what's going to happen? I like the advanced middle console, LED front lights, headlights, LED lighting is nice. All cars have switched on to LED lights anyway. Anything that you dislike or not interested? You know, massage on seating, that sounds like a massage hall, like a anything else? Quality, interior upholstery. How important is that? That's very important. Yeah. Because it adds good quality to the car. It looks like velvet. Anything you're disinterested altogether. You mentioned hybrid, but which hybrid are you talking about? Electrical. With the plug in it on it? No, self-charging. One of them was self-charging and the other one is chargeable with the plug. No, self-charging one is nice. Automatic charging. How are you supposed to plug it into the mains? This is a very important thing for the back seat passengers' legroom. Yeah, I've just listed that. You know, the windscreen reflection of the dashboard, that's nice, but that may be optional. You may live without that. Okay. Now let's rank these. I'm trying to understand which ones are more important. So so that we can talk about the most important. I think you could divide it into two things: hands-free. I mean, cannot be compared to seating related things. Well, there may be options. Which one should be a must-haves, and which ones are good to have? Well, long leg distance is a must. Hands-free is a must. A fuel economy is a must. Middle console is must have. LED lighting is a must. Okay. Front windscreen reflection may be optional. Quality upholstery. Do you think it should be? It's a must have. Yes, it's a must have. Rear monitor. Monitor on the
how positive they are.
back.
Because hands-free means
Headrests.
driving. The car
Yeah, it's
is
good to
driving.
have. It's good to
So
have.
are they really
Just
ready
good to have.
accept that? They need to be pushed
Middle
to the
console.
because
Is it a must have or a good to have?
of reluctance towards autonomous driving.
Advanced middle console. Well, that's, I think that's a must have.
They said that there's a problem.
And the armrest is also a must have.
So maybe because of that reason, they
But
have
then-
saying this. But I understand.
And they really ready to accept it right now, autonomous driving.
Yeah, I mean,
No
so
doubt.
this is a console where you can put your water, your keys, and your belongings. I think it's very handy. So it's a must-have thing. Middle console is a must-have. We talked about that. And then hands-free feature. Well, indeed, you may have it as an option. So, do you think? Yeah, it must be an optional feature you may ask for. But because I wouldn't want to rely on that.
See?
But in the long distance, I can use it. And you felt very attracted by this hands-free feature. Why? Because you can even improve that. And you can add some tiredness sensor into that. So it could warn you in long distance, instead of you, the engine itself could push on the brakes. So because it is related with safety of the car. So it's a must for the next car. Long distance is a must-have. Why do you think so? Why did you include it into the must-have list? Because the front seat passengers can easily stretch their legs, but the rear seat passengers cannot stretch their legs. So that's for the sake of the rear seat passengers. For long distances, yeah, my kid is really complaining a lot about that. So it appeals to everybody, for families with children, for long and short distances. But what about this leg extension apparatus? That is also a must-have. Oh, that's a complimentary item. This apparatus. Do you think it must be? Is it must-have? I think it could be an optional thing. It may be an optional thing rather than must-have. Okay. For adults, not for children. What about LED lights? LED lights, that's important. You certainly must have that. Why? Why certainly must have? There are halogen lights. I mean, they're really disturbing the drivers coming across you. So what's the benefit of? How does it influence your viewing angle? If you're using long beam, it really if you don't have LED lights, you are disturbing the eyes of the other drivers. It certainly has an impact on how you drive it. You're using the long beam if you are driving long distance, but LED lights offers you the ability to use your high beams fully. Quality upholstery of seating, you said that's essential. Why? Inner design is the most important element that affects how it is viewed regarded by people. Because the inner, upholstery could make you feel comfortable or make you feel restful. So good quality upholstery is very important. How do you know that upholstery is good quality? What are they? The fabric's quality and material used.
It's already too late. I don't want it.
But, and do you touch it? I mean, how do you know?
Do you think I can
How do you know the
see
feeling?
to the hotel? Or in-
Have you ever bought a car?
You can
No, I haven't.
whenever you want, but
When we go to buy a car, we just pay attention to all of these details.
Do you think I can
Now,
see-
what makes you say this is upholstery is good quality? Leather seats would usually make you feel sweaty. After a while, they may even start disturbing you, especially in summer months. And so, is it important not to have leather? Yeah. Well, it may be like semi-leather, like. There are fully orthopedic seating mechanisms. I mean, there are different qualities, like first class, second class, and third class upholstery. I'm just asking how you understand if it's good quality or not. I mean, anything that looks beautiful would be better. If you see it by the eye, you would perceive it as better. So what do you have to see to say it's better quality? Just let me understand. Even the patterns on the fabric and the color blending of the fabric, or maybe the color shade. There are, stain repellent fabrics. That's what he's trying. These are nano fabrics. And I think all the seatings are adopting those. They're comfortable at the same time. For instance, you just pay attention to all the details when you're buying a couch along, a seating for your home. But what about the feeling? Is it the same thing? Of course, it's this. Are your expectations the same? But of course, the fabric for the seating of a car would be a bit strong, harder. Sometimes I use my car as an office. Therefore, whenever I drip something, it's left on it or it may get burnt. So I just want some washable or leather-like fabric that is easy to wipe off. Okay, now let's have a 10-minute break for smoking or going to the loo, and then we'll continue.
No, I know.
impossible.
Aşkına bayılacağım, şarjın olmuyor. Kaç.
Ay bugün yeni boncuklar bir şey aldım. Şu sana oluyor mu olmuyor mu?
Ay aşk olsun.
Söyler misin? Ama şey için el parmağım elim veriyor ya parmağım demişim.
Ay bana bir şey yapmadınız.
Yapabiliyorum
Çaldınız.
artık.
Ha, tamam.
Bir dakika. Seninki nerede?
Ha, çok tatlısınız ya. Vallahi iyi.
Şunu bir de ay hayır canım ne olacak?
Şey mi? Kolye olaraktan?
Ebat olarak yani
Ha.
boy olarak hangisinden hoşlanırsın onu söyle.
Bir tık daha şöyle.
Ha,
Şöyle.
Tamam. Bunu bir tak. Ya bu olursa yalnız bunda bir
Bu da
eksiklik var. Onu düzeltmem gerekiyor. Onda bir de eksiklik var. Nasıl boyu?
Çok iyi. Çok aşağıda da değil. Çok
Tamam.
güzel.
Okey tamam.
Ay
Ona
çok
bir şey
pahalı
ekleyeceğim.
ediyorsunuz ya. Ben
Yok
bunları biliyorsunuz. Satın almak istedim ama.
Aa,
Tamam ilk şey olduğu için bundan sonraki.
Olur mu öyle şey? Ya şöyle bir hata yapmışım. Onu düzeltmem gerekiyor.
Ben hiçbir şey göremiyorum.
Ya şu uzun var ya. O uzundan şurada da olması gerekiyor.
Ay hiç
Onu yapacağım.
uğraşmayın ya.
Aa, yapacağım.
Gayet
Böyle
olmuş.
şey.
Ben ama anlamadım bile. Ay hiç uğraşmayın. Onu tekrar sökeyim. Hay Allah. Vallahi gerek yok.
Ben hiç öyle demem.
İyi de çünkü anlaşılmıyor. Yani söylemeseniz anlamadım ya. Nesini sarf ediyorsanız da
Yok yapacağım.
Teşekkür ederim.
Yapacağım. Bugün de ben
Mahcup
yine
oldum
şey
yine.
yaptım. Ay, rica ederim mahcup bir şey değil. Ya şey soracağım. Kamer.
Hı.
Böyle bir şey yaptım.
Yes.
Ama yani böyle çok da şey
Bu da güzel olmuş şuraları falan. Bak gittikçe dizayn
Fena
ilerletiyorsunuz
değil,
bu arada. Ay şey yani yaratıcılık olarak insan aklına da gelmez yani bir yerde takılır yani. Ne koyacağım diye.
bazen evet ben de
Gayet.
bulamıyorum. Şaşırıyorum.
Hatta şu arkadaş güzelmiş mesela. Hani
Evet,
ben
bu
kendim
böyle
için demiyorum.
güzel.
Şu söylediğim şeyi yazık bana
Bak
yapmayın.
dışarıda ışıkta bir bakar mısın?
Evet. Döndüler mi?
Ben bitirdim mi?
Yani 5 dakika kalmış önemli.
Öyle mi?
Önemli. 2 saat görmeyelim.
Ondan az bir şey
The other
alayım. Ben
guy,
sana
he
Ay,
went
çok
to
iyi.
take his car because he parked in the wrong spot and he had to move his car. And now these guys don't want to wait for him and they want to get started.
Yeah.
Elinize sağlık. Süper olmuş hepsi. Mükemmel olmuş.
Yavaş yavaş olacak.
Okay, I split you into 2 groups. So we're 4 people. Okay, let's do it this way. Can you move to the other seat? You two can work together. Okay? I'll put some magazines here. And I like you to choose visuals about what you expect from the next car. But it should not be about the windows, seats, or other things. We're interested in the emotional world of the next car. What will be the emotional benefits of the next car? What needs, what drives, motivations should it meet? So we're not interested in the bonnet, trunk, or other things. These are very easy things. But now what we're interested in is your emotions around it. So I'll give you magazines, and as you're doing it, you can choose pictures about the personality of the next car. So are we going to cut and paste them? Yes. And pictures about how you would feel inside. It could be something about the quality. We keep talking about quality. And how you would feel with that quality, with that given quality of the next car, etc. Okay? Think through all these. But you should do this as groups. So 2 of you would be one group. That's why you should come up with the common feelings and motivations. And now we'll talk about the details. I'll take out the magazines. Please don't focus on clutch, accelerator, or the technical parts, okay? We don't need those. I'll give you scissors and the glue. If there's nothing, that no visual that represents your innermost feelings, you can draw it if you want. Can I cut? Yes, of course. Do it the way you want. Please talk to your friend in the group. I'll give you 15 minutes for this exercise. You have the blank sheet and it's up to you to fill in this in. If you were driving this car, how would you feel, for instance? We can also cut this. This is about freedom, one says. So I'm curious about the feelings of driving such a car. How would you feel? What kind of an experience would it be to drive it? Focus on your feelings for the next car. But in the meantime, as I said before, this is such a car that you can financially afford it. It shouldn't be totally away from the segment. It's not like Aston Martin or something, but you can afford it financially. But the cars you have shown actually are not in our segment indeed. Okay. Think of the next car. How would you want to feel? You should put me in that feeling. It's totally about freedom. But how about digital? It should not be digital clock, but maybe a clock something like this.
kind of fragrance helps me embrace my car. You know, in this picture you have nature, and it's a free and environment-friendly car because you have birds in this picture. Now, what makes a car free? Automatic, driving, probably. Automatic driving, driverless. Well, for instance, it's not a classically styled car. The style is not classic. And this wristwatch indicate some design element. I think the car should signify my own style, and that cam may be used as a feature. Anything that you see while driving in your car, you can take pictures. Why is that something desirable? Because you're making the most of your moment. If you're trying to bond to your car, it's not only a vehicle for you. So being able to do something you want to do should matter to you. While driving in my car, there may be something I ask my car to take a picture of. And okay. What benefit is it? Is it only for spending the time, enjoying the time? Yes. Like a magnifying camera could be good to have. Imagine it's a luxury car, so it magnifies the longer distances. So what's going to be the benefit of that while driving? For instance, there is a slope you need to take. There's a curve. You can get slower. If it's a sharp turn, you can get slower. Yeah, that's how we do it. It could zoom in the longer distances. How do you think it's going to contribute to your driving? It's going to facilitate our driving. You see the camera. Imagine that you're driving in a road that you don't know, and it magnifies and it pulls the distances closer. We thought of a hybrid car, and you should be able to charge your smartphone. What's going to be the benefit of that? Well, indeed, the car we have made is just making our lives easier. It's not for traveling purposes only, but it's like spending your time in your room at home. So anything you do there, you'll be able to do in your car too. And it's going to be comfortable. So where does the comfort come from? The comfortability of your car. It's a car that gives you massage. So you know what I understand from your presentation, you want to feel your car as a part of your home. I mean, this is a place where you spend a part of your life. Yeah, because I live in my car. So, and you also perceive your car as a mobile phone. Yeah, it should be technological. It should entertain you. It should keep you busy. Absolutely. So it should belong to you only, to you yourself. Well done. Let's continue.
Orada kablo oradaymış.
Now I'm just giving the bundles back to you. Now we'll be focusing on, just listen to me. We have had the exterior design, interior design, and interior specs, as you can recall. Which of these you think could give you the world that you asked for in your collage? Which of these would match with your world of the car? Just all of them are in the bundle. I have prepared 2 sets. So we're going to do it as a group, exercise. Yes, but you need to do that pretty quickly. Now find them quickly.
And then, since the time, maybe you can just ask which grade maybe otherwise if it was good. Okay, because otherwise.
Choose one picture for interior and one for exterior, and a third picture for interior specs.
I think I forgot something in the plane. In the plane, like I forgot something. Can you find me the phone number of Turkish Airlines lost and found? Okay. I'm sure it's closed now, but tomorrow I'll make a call. But they should have a lost and found office.
I'm sure they have.
But if I look by myself on the internet, take ages, can you just check it out?
You come from Atatürk Airport. Because my friend working there,
Uh-huh.
and we can have us.
Ah, okay.
And there is a phone line
This is
This is lost and found.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Well, look, to be honest, it's my iPad, so I think
You can choose two of the specs.
somebody took it, right?
like,
I think I let
You know, those specs such as LED lights and upholstery, etc.
But who knows?
Just think about, just focus on the most important ones.
Why not?
Do you want to call them or?
Ah, it's very close, no?
I don't know.
I don't know. Dahili de var.
Have you chosen anything for the interior?
It's the internal number.
Okay, this was nice one.
But it's an iPad, so I think it must have been, I don't think.
Okay, I'm trying my chance.
We're spending too much time on the collage, I think. We're spending too much on the collage.
And we also expect them.
Let's take a look at what you've chosen.
Pictures, right?
What have you placed? Hybrid engine,
Sizes.
S1 design. And for interior, you have chosen number 4.
Here's the need for the silhouette and the
Okay,
features.
there's nothing else you've chosen. Okay, what have you got?
Yes.
For exterior design, you've got S4. And for interior design, you've number 4 that's the winner. Full LED lighting for headlights and trunk access and capacity and leg extension apparatus. You made a good list. Okay, what about the main idea of that car? What do you think this car offers with all of these? It's appealing to business purposes as well as family usage purposes with the exterior look and interior design. So it, with its trunk size and interior design, it is very, very good. How would you coin a nickname for this car? Crazy boy? Space One. Just tell a name that would suggest the feeling of the car. I can't come up with any names. Okay, what about you? What is the main idea of your car with the exterior, interior, with its hybrid spec? I'm going to take a picture of your collage. You had a pretty emotional perspective. Yeah, right in the beginning I told you I'm emotional. It's hybrid. Okay, I'm just listening to you. We thought of a hybrid car. Please listen to the other group. I know you're getting tired, but yes, as I said, it's a hybrid car, and it has its genuine sporty look. It's like the naughty child of the city, and its inner design is quite original, and its name would probably be Space One. I mean, is there any suggestive name? It's like, it's space-like, you know? It has got everything. You mean, are you trying to say it's technological? You've got everything in this space. And this car has got everything too. Technology, appearance, style, you know, original design. It's both SUV and sedan as a car. What does it offer as a whole? For you, for us? Yes, of course, for you. As it is, it excites me. Good. Anything else? It offers you adrenaline. I like it. It's just my car. I have another question. Let me ask the other group. Which brand do you think would make this their car? Which brand do you think this would be? Nissan. You've got Porsche picture. No, just try to think about brands that you can afford. We're not talking about Ferrari or Porsche here. No, let's not talk about prices. Just try to think of your budget. And what do you think? Volkswagen can produce this car? Yes. Renault can make it. Yeah. Renault's Megane is maybe like that. Renault has changed its style so much. If Renault makes these cars, it would really boom out. It would sell very well. Okay. Why did you initially think of Volkswagen? Because Volkswagen is a people's car in German language, what matters to us here in Turkey is economy. Then comes comfort. That while the intention of the manufacturer was robustness, but of course in Germany the Volkswagen is intending for middle classers. Okay, just tell me 3 adjectives for Volkswagen: comfort, safety, and aesthetics. What else? Trust, comfort, aesthetics.
Yeah, lifetime, you're right.
What are the values of Volkswagen brand?
Thank you.
Volkswagen is an ordinary car in a different country, but in our country, it's a luxury car. Because we need to evaluate it subjectively. I'm just interested in your imagery of Volkswagen brand, but that's the imagery of Volkswagen. It has become something luxurious. There is Seat. They're a corporate company, and Renault is a people's car in Turkey, but Volkswagen is people's standard car. In other words, in Germany, it is affordable for middle classers. But this car would sell very well if Renault does the same thing. And we'll talk about Renault later on. You mentioned Volkswagen. What else? What other brand could do that? Mercedes and BMW, Audi, more luxurious cars could do that. When we say Porsche, I mean, they have already got the technology to be able to do this. But when it comes to Renault, we believe that Renault has some mile to go before it can manage to produce this, to manufacture this car. I don't think that other lower brands will be able to do this. We'll get back to Renault. Let's keep that aside. And also, which brand do you think would make this car?
Can you see it? Audi. So a body like S4 is chosen, and the same interior has been chosen, a large trunk capacity, LED lighting, and you can stretch your legs. It could be Audi doing it. Yeah, Volkswagen Audi doing it. Jetta, Passat, could be Passat or something like that. Volkswagen. Renault can do it. Talisman, Megane. 60% of people, or more than 60% of people, if they have seen Megane, yeah, they can say so. But the cars of Renault sent abroad are in this segment. So, normally Renault launches the cars into Turkey that are produced in Turkey. When they export to European countries or to the States, they send other cars. Okay, I'd like to ask you something else. You said Audi for this group. Why did you say Audi, and what kind of a brand is Audi? Audi is a very robust, prestigious, reliable car, and the design is similar to Audi. But Renault, well, it looks like Renault Talisman, maybe. Yeah, Renault Talisman could be, but we couldn't catch safety, comfort with Renault, this much of comfort and safety with Renault. Is Audi modern? Yes, or traditional? Well, Audi is traditional, if you ask me. Audi is speaking to a higher segment. I mean, middle incomers and lower incomers wouldn't make Audi. It's about the reputation, the prestige. But Renault, it has different categories, like different segments. It has the middle incomers and the higher incomers, but Audi has a certain line. Audi wouldn't compromise on its lines or the design. Okay, Volkswagen, is it modern or traditional? It's traditional. It's standard. It's traditional, but their traditional is actually modern. So their definition of traditional could be different, could be modern. For us, their normal or their usual standards would be modern. Okay, let's talk about Renault. What kind of a brand is Renault? First of all, when I say Renault, what comes to your mind? Turkish make comes to my mind. Turkish. Renault is robust. It has specific and definitive lines. Like Anatolian cars come to my mind. Turkish, robust, durable cars come to mind. What kind of an image brand is comfortable? It wouldn't, run into so many costs at all times. Even if it gives you breakdown, the spare parts are less expensive. The quality is lower. What do you mean by that? Yeah, when you hold a component, for example, it may break down. And the air conditioner only cools you 5 or 10 minutes later after you start it. So there is some latency. What do you mean? The shock absorbers, I don't know. What do you mean? For example, in Volkswagen, Audi, and in these segments, they're always first class. But Renault, the best car of Renault is not still in the first class. It could hardly make it for the second or the third class. In our country, I think it has to do with the origin. Mercedes, BMW, Audi, and Volkswagen, they would be in the same category. So the Germans have a different image, but Renault is more like Turkish, is more economical, is more for the middle incomers, is speaking to middle to lower incomers. But a German car, for instance, Golf versus Passat, they would always have the same standards. But Renault, Talisman, there's a difference between Talisman and Clio. Yeah, Talisman would be more luxurious and this and that. But when you get to Clio, not the same. They use different materials, but they only use first-class materials on Talisman. And Clio, when you look at Clio, is not the best quality, of course. Okay, so if Renault launched all the cars you have described, what would you think about it then? So I would think it renewed the technology, it improved the technology, I would think. So it noticed certain things, I would say. It recognized certain things, I would say. We always said second-class cars and this and that. So it means that it's moving up in the segment. Therefore, how about the price difference? Will they reflect things on the price? The price must be expensive, otherwise it's not doable. And then, you know what? It wouldn't immediately get into the marketplace, but if I could pay so much, I would buy BMW and Passat. Because these brands have already a deep-rooted image. Yeah, Renault has a deep-rooted image, but the others are dominant. Everyone knows they're the two. Sorry to interrupt, but look at the incoming prices like Jetta and Megane could be the same price. They're in the same segment. The Jetta's factory price is 50,000 liras and Megane's factory price is 45,000. There's a 5,000 lira difference. And look at Jetta quality versus Megane's quality. Look at the material differences. If Megane did the same thing, if Megane used the first class components and everything, if they increased the price like 5,000 liras, I think Renault would start selling more if it increased the component quality. Okay, what would you think if Renault did this thing? So how would this affect the image of Renault? But Renault needs to change the image already. There's Mercedes engine and this and that, but the price policy, well, even if they launch such a car, the price should still be less expensive than Mercedes and BMW. So it should have some advantages to get into the marketplace. Because otherwise, people would go and buy BMW and Mercedes. If it gave you the emotional benefit, how would this change the image? Of course, there would be a positive change. People would say, wow, Renault has changed lines and design, so it's doing something new. they would react. Can I give out name? Casper. No one was buying Casper 10 years ago. The Casper computer, no one was buying it. And they renewed the technology. But it's still too bad. I'm not sure. But look at the advertising and commercials of Casper. It really renewed itself. But there's still one image about Casper. Casper, well, I'm not going to buy Casper, but I'm going to buy this and that. So people prefer to buy HP and Dell. Okay. Even if Renault changes or renews something, can it not change the minds of people? Well, the drivers should test it first. Should be convinced about the change or the innovation. Okay, but after they test it, they experience it, could it still change something? Depends on the price. Well, the Mercedes is like 100,000 less, but the Renault, if Renault launches it, if it uses the first class materials, if the price is down to 60,000, of course I would prefer to buy Renault with this price. Well, he gave the answer. You know, Renault has certain models where the quality is much better than the other models. So we can group Renault, different models from top to bottom. So Renault can produce different options and cars with different features. One Renault model could be 200,000, the other could be down to 100,000. So if it were up to me, I would prefer Beko, but not Arçelik in white goods, for example, instead of 3A Energy. In one of them, the engine could last for 5 years, the other, the engine could last longer, etc. So considering the taxation in Turkey, to be realistic, you know, my group or the other group, because of taxation and other issues, you know, they're producing this quality with these prices. You know, there is labor cost, workmanship cost. Actually, they grouped Mercedes, BMW, Audi, you know, they could be in one group. Well, that's the reality of Turkey, but the reality of Germany is different, of course. These are the given conditions in Turkey. It could be Renault or another group. It could be a brand producing it at the price of 50,000. And our state doesn't do anything else, but it is getting the taxation directly. Okay, maybe we can end the session if you want. Okay, thank you.